Man, it's a great shot, because it was dipping and swerving. Jim Leighton played safe with the save. McClair, Wallace through the centre this time. Hughes peels off to his right. McClair joins in. Mark Hughes against Grobbelaar. McClair was hoping that Hughes could have rolled it across the face of the goal. That would have been difficult to do at that speed. Robson. Beautifully played with McClair. Hughes. The free man to the right is Blackmore. There's Hughes! Well, they do deserve a goal, Manchester United. And here they come again with the two Welshmen, Blackmore and Hughes. And Hughes has turned Hussein. He wants to lay it off. Phelan and McClair and the fingertips of Grobbelaar.
Three days after their Anfield anxieties against Manchester United, when even manager Kenny Dalglish admitted Liverpool didn't deserve their point, this was a much more convincing start against Sheffield Wednesday. Jan Molby meeting a Barry Venison cross after just 2 minutes. So a major problem for the Wednesday manager, Ron Atkinson, who'd studied Liverpool so closely as part of our commentary team for the match against Manchester United. He has injected much more confidence into his side. John Sheridan, one of the signings, with some superb approach work. Dalian Atkinson almost rounding it off. Liverpool held their lead until half-time and for another 5 minutes into the second half. Then, from Nigel Worthington's corner, Atkinson was left alone by Liverpool at the far post to their cost. 1-1. And Sheffield Wednesday not satisfied with just that, not letting their illustrious opponents settle on the ball. One of the Liverpool substitutes, David Burrows, was caught out here, and Franz Carr, on loan from Nottingham Forest, looking to crown his Wednesday debut with a goal. Really a miss-kick which turned into a perfect pass for David Hirst, and how Liverpool survived, only Hirst will know. So Wednesday only 5 minutes away from a creditable draw. Steve Staunton and Burrows plotting at this free kick. Staunton hit it hard and low, and Ian Rush reacting to score his 230th Liverpool goal to move to third in the club's all-time list. It was a winner for Liverpool, but they scarcely deserved it.
As both Liverpool and Aston Villa will tell you, the Dell is a far from friendly place for Championship hopefuls, although the hostile reception for Paul Davis was all about the incident in which he broke Glenn Cockerill's jaw when these two teams met at Highbury last season. Davis, unperturbed, almost set up a second-half goal for Alan Smith, Tim Flowers saving well, and Arsenal had other chances too. But John Lukic made 3 fine saves at the other end before Southampton won the match 8 minutes from time. Rob Wallace struck decisively as George Graham's side lost the match and the First Division leadership. Arsenal's next assignment is a trip to Villa Park, which hosted its biggest crowd of the season as more than 41,000 turned out for the visit of Manchester United. The home fans had to wait until 10 minutes into the second half for a goal. David Platt denied by Jim Leighton before Ian Olney picked up the rebound to give Aston Villa the lead. It's turning into a good season for Platt, released by United 5 years ago. He found his way to the First Division via a spell with Crewe and now looks more than likely to find his way into Bobby Robson's World Cup squad. Against his boyhood club, Platt was Villa's most influential player and deserved his goal after Tony Daly's run had set him up. United, missing the injured Brian Robson and Danny Wallace, looked wary after their impressive efforts in drawing at Anfield 3 days earlier. They lost their way after going behind. Alex Ferguson's search for solutions is becoming an exasperating one. Villa, by contrast, look in fine shape. They are emerging as the third contender in this season's title race. Daly fed Platt to set up Kevin Gage to drive in their third goal. The message from Villa Park: bring on Arsenal. Tottenham won 5-0 the last time these two sides met and looked intent on beating that score in the first half here. Just 8 minutes had been played when Paul Stewart's square pass gave Vinnie Samways all the space he needed to score a classy opening goal. Spurs were just too quick for Millwall at times. Steve Sedgley's pass sending Gary Lineker in from the flank. Alan McCleary was deceived by the England striker's quick feet, the Millwall defender catching up just in time to get the scoring touch himself. "2-0 after 18 minutes became 3 after 35. Stewart was involved again. Paul Allen running into space to deliver the decisive pass before Lineker, having made the second, scored the third. Neat finish. It was to Millwall's great credit that they didn't capitulate. They actually made a decent game of it in the second half and could have scored more than the solitary goal they got through Tony Cascarino's header. But Tottenham were still comfortable winners. Nottingham Forest are next at White Hart Lane. If you were searching for thrills on Boxing Day, Selhurst Park was the place to go. Chelsea's previous 4 matches in all competitions have produced 27 goals. Kerry Dixon took advantage of some slapstick defending to put them in front at Crystal Palace with less than a minute gone. The last time Dixon scored in the first minute of a game was against Wimbledon at the start of the month, and Chelsea lost that one 5-2. Bobby Campbell's side had already conceded 14 goals during the month of December, and it's not hard to see why. No challenges on Ian Wright as he progressed from the halfway line to score his 10th goal of the season. Chelsea's defence looked terrified whenever Wright ran at them. Here's another example. As Dave Besant saved and white-shirted players panicked, Alan Pardew thought he'd scored. Ken Monkow somehow diverted the ball over. It was clear, though, that any Palace player with a sense of adventure had a chance of striking the jackpot. John Pemberton, having started this move from right back, kept running to pick up Mark Bright's return pass and ended up with only his 3rd goal in 183 career league appearances. That left the visitors staring at a 4th successive league defeat and searching desperately for salvation. It came with time running out. Graham Lasso, the young Channel Islander, marked his First Division debut with this late equaliser. On the early evidence, Howard Kendall is going to make Manchester City awkward to play against. Brian Gunn, Norwich's goalkeeper, certainly didn't enjoy facing them and was grateful to see Trevor Morley's early goal disallowed for a push. Kendall's side had the ball in the net again before half-time. Andy Hinchcliffe's cross causing problems for Gunn, who was perhaps lucky to get the referee's verdict here. Gary Megson, the player denied this time. The home side looking nothing like a team who had been fighting relegation since August. Norwich rarely looked like a team in 4th, carrying minimal threat as Peter Reid ran the midfield for Kendall, but the new manager was heading for a second goalless draw until 4 minutes from the end, when substitute Clive Allen raced clear to lift Manchester City off the bottom of the table. Everton are starting to get their act together again after a tricky couple of months, scoring a well-taken goal at the baseball ground. Paul Blades didn't get enough on the clearance, and Stuart McCall pulled out his FA Cup final party piece again. That was McCall's 3rd goal since scoring against Liverpool at Wembley in May. Kevin Ratcliffe and Dave Watson worked hard in Everton's defence to frustrate Dean Saunders, the First Division's leading scorer, and it was Trevor Hebbard who had Derby's best chance to equalise, but Neville Southall was in fine form to deny him. Last season's Littlewoods Cup finalists were reunited at Kenilworth Road. Wembley winners in April, Forest ran the first half here, failing to take 3 good chances before going in front 10 minutes before half-time. Steve Hodge scoring for the 2nd game in a row after Gary Parker, Nigel Clough and Nigel Jemson had all been involved. How Forest failed to press their advantage from there is a mystery. It seemed as if Luton were there for the taking. Jemson let them off the hook. Luton, scrabbling around for points at present, sent on Mick Harford for the injured Lars Elstrup after that, and Forest didn't know how to cope. Harford has had a rotten time with injuries since his Wembley goal 8 months ago. His very presence lifted the home side, who equalised with 8 minutes left. Richard Cook, the former Tottenham youngster, scoring his first goal for the club. How Luton missed the creativity of Roy Wegerle. He was making his first start for his new club, Queen's Park Rangers, at home to Coventry. The confidence when running at defenders was clear from the off. Simon Barker couldn't quite profit here. The QPR number 10 shirt has been worn by some great players down the years. Wegerle appears keen to take up the challenge of matching them. £1 million well spent? Looks that way, doesn't it? The only thing missing from Wegerle's impressive home debut was a goal, but Rangers did score before half-time. No penalty there as Andy Sinton went to ground under Greg Downs' challenge. Only a temporary reprieve though, as when the cross came in, Mark Falco punished Coventry for failing to clear their lines. But despite all Wegerle's tricks and flicks, he was upstaged by David Speedie. Dean Emerson's ball over the top sat up nicely, and Speedie improvised brilliantly. A goal as special as it was rare, only the 6th away from home for Coventry in the league all season. Certainly worth celebrating, and worth getting dressed up for too. A great chance for somebody to improve their numbers at Plough Lane. Wimbledon had won just once at home in the league all season, Charlton just once away. It was the home side who got the break. Paul Mortimer brought down Terry Gibson. And some redemption for penalty taker Keith Curle, who conceded a spot kick and scored an own goal in defeat at Coventry last time out in the league. This game was witnessed by the lowest Boxing Day crowd in the top 2 divisions, fewer than 6,000 at Plough Lane. Indeed, there were bigger attendances at 8 games in Division 3 and another 3 in Division 4. The assembled throng, such as it was, saw a rare goal for midfielder Detsy Krasinski. His header made it 2-0. In the second half, he was joined on the score sheet by John Gale, the striker plucked out of non-league football earlier this year when he was signed from Burton Albion. Gale has struggled to adjust to the First Division, but his first Football League goal may well help him. It's proving to be another tough season for Charlton, who managed to pull one back before the end from Scott Minto's corner, Mickey Bennett converting the loose ball amid the scramble. But Lenny Lawrence's team are now bottom of the First Division, and it's Liverpool away next.